Well, hey there, how y'all doing today? Well, I just made this video about the brakes on the back of this 123 Cub Cadet, and I've took the front wheels off it, which is the thing I did when I first started working on this thing, because I was going to start with the fronts because I already had one of the twos for the fronts. But anyways, I was just going to show you how to do this because both of the rims were stuck on here, and of course here's the rim that goes on this side. I've already done the wheel on this other side here. Get the light. I've undid that wheel. I've done, took the tire, did that side, and I've already, taken the rim off of there, and then took the tire off, then got all the rust off, and put some rust primer on it, then put the tire back on there, and took the bearings off, and put those full of grease, and put everything back together. But I want to walk y'all through how to basically what to do if you have an old mower like this, specifically the Cub Cadets. And the way these are made, these got a spindle on here where the bearings ride on, and you look right in there. This is, if I can get the light right here. See, there's the bearing right there, and there's little balls in there for little races to keep them in place. In fact, really, if I go in here, where did I put that bearing? See that in there? Little balls in there, little races. I just put some oil in that. It's a little rusty. It's a little loose, but for what I'm using it for, if they get to where they do need to be replaced, I replace that at a later date. But right now I'm just trying to get the thing going and see how it works. So I'm just put a little on there, layer them, pack a little grease in there, which I'll show you how to do that too on that one. But anyways, on here, as you can see, I've put this back on here, but it's just a little I don't forget what size it is. I'm kind of in a hurry right now, so I'm not going to go back and see what size that is. But I know I might put in the comments the description later on. But you take what you do is mine that's bound up there like that, up on there. If an old tire's still on there, you take this right here off, then all that comes with it. It's a little felt piece right there that's done came apart. I'm gonna put that on there too. I know it's bad, but that's all I got right now. This little wash right here, which is another thing on there. So you take these two things off. What you're left with is this bolt. And what you do is, now this is only if it's stuck on there really hard, but you put this bolt back on here and thread in all the way. And then you get a punch, well, not a punch, but basically an old bolt or something that's where you can extend this out to where, because you can see it's a fair ways down in there to get that, because that bolt would be sticking out about that far out from it if it was on there. But anyways, you put that on there. You get something flat, maybe even the bolt about the same size as that. Or I just had a big brass, I guess I don't know if it was a punch. I'm losing my mind right now. But you take a big piece of metal that can put on there, and basically you put that on there. You hold that with one hand like that. You take a hammer and hit it, and what it does, it kind of pushes that back while this rim stays still. And what it does, it brings the wheel forward. Of course, that might be, every reaction has an equal reaction, so it might be reacting back on that rim to push it out. I don't know if there's that physics on. I took physics 1, but it took me 3 times to pass it, so I don't know all the rules about that. But anyways, that's the first step in getting this. And once you get that off, I'm going to show y'all. I did on one of these bigger tires. These back tires, how to get the tire off the rim. I've did on this. In fact, I went ahead and put some rust, I think was that, thanks for petroleum rust primer that was in a quart can, I think. quart or pint can. I just brushed it on there with a regular brush, sprayed some brake cleaner on it, got rid of all the rust, and wiped it down with some set-tone sand and dipped the hood. But anyways, that's what I'm show you right now. And of course, what I always like to do on projects like this, because there's no time with me, especially being out here in the woods and everything. And where, of course, you know, even in the shop, there's potential for having shop rats. But you always put this back on here, the same order that you took it off, and make sure you put it in the same place and everything. But just put it back in there to where you don't lose it. I've been lost a lot of. My problem is, I never had a problem putting bolts back. Having to add the bolts. My problem's always been in trying to find them. So you put them back in the hole. That's a threaded hole where it threads into. Once you take everything apart, it's 9% chance that you'll still have it when you go to put it back on. But and also you can raise this thing up there before you start taking it off, because that's actually threaded inside there. It's not, the rollers are actually inside the rim, so you don't have to set this thing on the ground before you start. You can go ahead and jack it up and put it on block before you take the rim off. I'll see y'all in a minute. Hey there, I just want to show you real quick how to knock out this bearing. You can see the bearings down in there, and basically what you do, you take a drive like this. It's better to have a socket on the end of it, and hopefully a cheap one, because it's going to ruin them after a while. Hey there, basically what you do on these bearings is you take a socket and stand, hopefully for a deep well socket is even better. But you take it, you put it down in there where the bearing, the edge of the bearing, and try to hit on the outside of the bearing, not the inside. You take it and you just tap the hammer, tap it all the way around. I'm sorry, this visual ain't very good. I ain't got no camera stand, but you tap around, you tap it out, and I'll show you what I do once I get it. Hey there, and I also want to tell y'all that when you knock that bearing out, also be careful to do it from side to side if you ain't got some that's big enough to go all the way around it. Now you have the bearing. You can see it's kind of wobbly, it had a little rust in it. The first thing you do on this thing is, there, what you do with this bearing, square a little hole in it, get down in there, then you roll it around a little bit, get that oil distributor in there. Then how you back the bearings, it's fairly easy. Put your finger over here in some red lithium grease. I prefer the Mystic. You can just take it, and you do your finger like that in there, and you pack that grease in there. And as you can see here, I packed this bearing full of grease. So you put it down in there, and if you have a brass punch like this is the thing to use. You put it right on top of it, and you want to do this even across so where you don't get, but you tap it down on it until it's seated flush on there. It's better to do it two-handed, but I'll be back in a minute and show you how to get the tires off the big rims.